Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Coach Drink, the Missouri Tigers, land a massive commitment in the 2025 class in four-star quarterback Matt Zollers from the state of Pennsylvania. And the thing that stands out to me the most about Matt Zollers, and we're going to get into what he brings to this Missouri program on the football field, but Coach Drink just went head-to-head with the Georgia Bulldogs, who hosted him on a late visit, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and then the in-state school in Penn State, and they went out for one of the more talented quarterbacks in this 2025 cycle. Coach Drink making it happen on the field, obviously, in the 2023 season. We expect them to be very good in 2024, but for these programs to ensure that staying power at the top of the SEC, you need to back up that play on the field with what you're doing on the recruiting trail. And this kind of win kind of shows that Missouri is here to stay in the SEC. I am fired up about what Coach Drink is doing with this program, and fired up even more about what Matt Zollers brings to this Missouri offense. Want to get into kind of what he's going to bring to this offense, take a look at the film. Before we do, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys, and a massive shout out to the Missouri Tiger fans, whether we just broke down the spring game 2 weeks ago, whether we're covering this team on the recruiting trail. Y'all know this is a program that we are extremely high on, and the amount of support the Missouri fans have shown the boys truly does mean a lot. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Matt Zollers. Now, before we get into the film, talk about what he brings to this offense, I want to talk about how Coach Drink is going about building this Missouri program up. And these kind of wins, guys like Williams Winery in the 2024 class, or Matt Zollers right here, these are the kind of wins that are going to allow Missouri to stay at the top of the SEC. But I am a massive fan of what Coach Drink is doing in terms of going about building this roster, landing top 20 recruiting classes, but also supplementing those classes with really, really intentful additions in the transfer portal. And we talk about roster construction a lot in this modern era of college football. Yes, you want to use the transfer portal. That is a very, very effective avenue to building a roster, but you don't want the high school recruiting to fall to the wayside. And I think we've kind of agreed that the blend of those two avenues is kind of how you go about doing it. And I don't know if there's many better programs at blending. Yeah, we're going to get elite talent through the transfer portal, but we're also a developmental program that wants to get kids out of high school and coach them up going into year 3, year 4. That's exactly what Coach Drink is doing. I think he's doing a master class. And again, college football, it starts with the talent acquisition. It starts about building a talented roster. I think Coach Drink is doing a very, very good job. Now, getting into Matt Zollers, you normally start with arm talent, athleticism, size. Matt Zollers, that's check, check, check. But my favorite attribute about Matt Zollers is this is a guy that is the ultimate gamer on the football field. When we're going to turn on the film, you're going to see a guy that he kind of just has that it factor about it, and it's awfully hard to kind of peg and quantify what that it factor is. You kind of just know it when you see it, and you kind of see it when Matt Zollers is playing at the high school level. This is a guy that not only has the arm talent to just make about any throw that you have to ask him to make on the football field, he's also a guy that when it breaks down, he's a phenomenal athlete that can extend plays, keep his eyes downfield, throw off platform. But when it all breaks down, he's a guy that is competitive, can get downfield, pick up the chains himself. You take a checkbox to what you want in Matt Zollers. I think the first one for me is, all right, what's between the ears? Is he a gamer on the football field? That's certainly a check. And then you look at the physical attributes. Those are certainly checks as well. Let's get into the film, talk about what we're kind of talking about right now. In the first rep, you're going to see from Matt Zollers showing off the athleticism. This is a guy that is a phenomenal basketball player too. Short area quickness, the ability to make people miss. And then when he's in open field, this is a quarterback that, kind of Brady Cook kind of sneaks up on you with the athleticism. That's Matt Zollers for you. Second thing I want to talk about is how he can throw off platform. And you look in the Coach Drink offense, they move quarterbacks around. They roll them out. They ask them to make difficult throws. Off-platform throw, he's going to throw an absolute dime to the corner of the end zone. Perfect ball placement, knows how to layer the football. And again, this is a guy that, again, off-platform, pushing the ball, 50 yards down the field, dropping it on a dime. From a pure arm talent standpoint, there's not many throws Matt Zollers cannot make. He attacks the deeper third beautifully. You talk about just pushing the ball down, throwing into the only spot that your wide receivers can go make plays. That's what Matt Zollers brings to the table. You talk about how many times we saw Luther Burden or a guy like Marquise Johnson break free down the field, Brady Cook hitting him in stride. That's what Matt Zollers can bring to this Missouri offense. Again, pushing the ball downfield, very accurate, a guy that can rifle it in too. You see the playmaking ability. This is the it factor that we're kind of talking about, right? When the play is breaking down, can you make something out of nothing? Matt Zollers certainly can. Another thing that's worth noting, 37 touchdowns to 2 interceptions his junior year. That is absolutely impressive from a high school quarterback playing his junior year of football. This is a guy that knows how to take care of the football. And I always say getting your quarterbacks in early, that's always massive. Continue to look, throwing to the boundary, and kind of want to highlight this throw right here. That was something that stuck out to me when I've been watching his film. That kind of throw from the opposite hash to the boundary, that's a super underrated throw in college football, right? You look at offenses that want to, the goal of offenses nowadays are making defenses respect every blade of grass on the football field, including the boundary, right? We just saw, 4 or 5 clips of him pushing the ball down the field. You also want to make defenses respect all blades of grass in the field to the boundary as well. Not many quarterbacks can make those kind of throws that you see Matt Zollers make to the boundary. He can rip it in there if you want. A lot of different kind of throws that Matt Zollers can make. I'm fired up about this kid. Again, we just saw him throw a ton of rainbows, dropping them in the bucket. He can also just muscle it down the field. Perfect back shoulder route right there. I am in love with this kid's tape. I think this was a massive win for Coach Drink and the Missouri Tigers. And one thing I want to close on is it's early on in the 2025 class. This is the first commitment that Missouri has landed. But if there's one thing we know about recruiting, is that getting a quarterback early that can kind of be the face of your recruiting class is absolutely massive. When you talk about guys like the Luther Burds, the top wide receivers that are considering going to Missouri, yeah, Kirby Moore and Coach Drink, they showed that, hey, we're going to have an elite offense. But another thing these wide receivers and these playmakers are looking for is like, who's going to be getting me the football? And a guy like Matt Zollers is a quarterback that wide receivers are going to want to play for. Fired up about this one. Massive get for the Missouri Tigers. And I think they're just getting started on the recruiting trail in this 2025 class. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. We'll also update y'all on the transfer portal as it opens up in this spring. No doubt Coach Drink going to get active. Appreciate y'all rocking with the fellas. Again, if you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.